Hey guys, this is Tanner with Tier 1, and I have a little video for you guys today that have 19 plus 68 RFEs. When you buy a 68 RFE from us, or you buy an aftermarket valve body from us, you're going to have to change the TCC solenoid on the top valve body housing within the trans, or when you get the valve body. The way that we do this is you're going to remove these tall T25 bolts in the auxiliary housing for the valve body. They are all much longer than the rest of the bolts in the valve body. But what you're going to do is loosen those up, remove those. You're going to pull the connector off and out. And you're going to take all these bolts out. Just like that. And you're going to pull the housing off. When you do so, if the transmission is already in the truck or if it's sitting on its side, be very careful. There is a small 1/4-inch check ball on the top of this plate that needs to remain in there. When you do take out the housing, make sure this plate stays on. You will never loosen that. But what you will do is take another T25 and you will break all these bolts loose. When you take all 4 bolts out, make sure you are holding the plate and let it go slowly, as there is an accumulator spring behind this plate. So if you're not holding that, that could shoot off somewhere and you're gonna have a bad time finding it. So you're gonna remove the clamps for the TCC solenoid, pull the solenoid out, take your solenoid that you have in your current truck and put it in the new housing. You're going to install the flat end towards the long side of the valve body housing. Put the spring back in and slowly start to reassemble. There are also T25 screws that go into this housing. They are slightly longer than the very short ones that cover your filter in the pan. So we're going to put that on first. I get that semi-tight so it just holds it down a little bit and makes the whole thing easier. You're going to slide the secondary retaining bracket over the first one. Then you're going to add the rest of your 3 bolts back in. Snug them up. And then we're going to torque these bolts to 60 inch-pounds. Now we're ready for the housing to go back onto the valve body and our 9 bolts to go back in. Once we've snugged up the bolts, we're going to torque these down as well to 60 inch-pounds, but we're going to do it 3 times. We use a bonded separator plate on these new high-performance valve bodies. They will crush as you torque these down, so the bolts will lose their torque a couple of times until the channel plate fully seats into the bonded separator plate. So we'll go ahead and do that now. I would let it rest for about a minute in between each torquing, just so you can give the separator plate a little bit of time to crush and settle. For the purposes of this video, we'll just go ahead and torque 2 more times so that you can see exactly what the process is. Even right there, we're getting about 1/8 of a turn on all of these from just sitting a couple of seconds. That one was a bit more. Generally, it takes about 3 tries, but the rule of thumb is that you want to put the torque wrench on the bolt and the bolt not turn when the torque wrench reaches its set torque limit. If you still have bolts that are creeping every time you turn them, just do another round of torquing until they don't anymore. Generally, it takes about 3 times. Every once in a while, you'll get one that does a 4th try. But once you get all the bolts that no longer turn while trying to torque them, the valve body housing is set. You can plug in your solenoid pack and you are ready for install in the transmission. These solenoid packs are coded to the ECM in the truck. If you do not replace this solenoid pack when you are installing one of our 19 plus trans or a 19 plus valve body and a 68 RFE, the truck will not work. The trans will not operate and you will go nowhere. These must be in, and it must be the correct coded solenoid to the truck. If you are at a shop that has YTech software or any OEM software that can do a pie curve and reset this housing and solenoid to the truck, you may also do that as well. You will have to get the numbers off the side of the valve or the side of the solenoid, and that can be redone through the ECM. But otherwise, for the guy doing it at home or someone who just doesn't want to mess with all that stuff, you're going to take your solenoid out of the truck from the valve body that you have and put it on the valve body or the trans that we send you. I hope that covers everything you need to know about installing these 19 plus valve bodies and trans into your truck. If you would like to see more, you can comment, like, subscribe on our channel on YouTube, Instagram, everything else, and we'll see you later.